Good afternoon, folks, and thank you for joining us. This is a meeting of the East Gloucester Veterans Memorial Elementary School Building Committee, October 14th. This meeting is recorded by video and audio in accordance with the state open meeting law, consistent with the governor's orders suspending certain provisions of the open meeting law and banning certain gatherings such that an in-person meeting of the building committee is not possible. This meeting will be conducted by remote participation. The public may not physically attend this meeting, but every effort will be made to allow the public to view and listen to the meeting in real time and participate if necessary. This is a building committee meeting. There isn't any public comment in this meeting, so I don't need to go over the guidance on how to have open comment, but I think we are ready to begin.
I'll do the roll call to start.
Great.
Okay, Jonathan Pope, not in attendance. Ben Lummis.
Here.
Thank you. Richard Sapphire.
Here.
Thank you. Greg Catamartori is not here. Okay.
Here.
Thank you. Donna Compton.
Here.
Thank you. John Dunn.
Here.
Thank you. Gary Frisch.
Here.
Thank you. Matt Fusco.
Here.
Thank you. Grant Harris.
Here.
Thank you. Joe Lucido, not here. Jameson Manning, don't believe I saw him. Amy Pasquarello.
Here.
Thank you. Adam Roselle.
I'm here, just so you know, I have to leave at 6 for parent teacher.
Okay.
Votes or anything, and you need it.
We'll get to it quick. And Katie Eunice, I don't believe I saw her. Okay.
Great. Thank you, Chris. So first order of business is approval of minutes from the September 9th, 2021 meeting. Does anyone have any comments or suggestions on the minutes? Could I get a motion on approval?
I move we approve the minutes from September 9th, right?
Yep.
Second.
Great. Any discussion? Chris, can we have a roll call vote, please?
Yes. Ben Lummis.
Yes.
Thank you. Richard Sapphire.
Yes.
Thank you. Kathy Clancy.
Yes.
Thank you. Donna Compton.
Yes.
Thank you. John Dunn.
I was not at the meeting, so I can't vote.
Yep. Gary Frisch.
Yes.
Thank you. Matt Fusco.
Yes.
Thank you. Grant Harris.
Yes.
Thank you. Amy Pasquarello.
Yes.
Thank you. And Adam Roselle.
Yes.
Thank you.
Great. So next item on the agenda is the approval of invoices. Mark, can you help us with that?
Yes, I can. I'm going to share my screen. Share that one. And I'm kind of a novice at this, but we'll try to get it over there.
Yeah, you're gonna start that again, I think. There you go.
Can you guys see the Excel summary?
We can. You may want to yeah, just make it a little smaller. So
Zoom out slightly.
Okay. Actually, I can.
Oh,
So anyways, there are 5 invoices. The first one is for Durham Whittier for the period of August of 2021. There's and again, is it allowable to approve these in aggregate, or do I need to show each invoice and we approve them like we've historically done individually?
Donna, any suggestions on that? Or John?
So the invoice details were in our packet.
Absolutely, yes.
And I think we can just go forward with the votes in the past have been the vendor, the invoice number, and the amount. So we have the detail invoices in our packets, and we can just vote that way.
Okay,
Sounds good to me.
But
okay,
do,
so,
sorry, but do you want to take them individually is the question.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yes, we need to take the invoices individually. Yep.
okay. So there's the Durham Whittier invoice number 00028 in the amount of $188,967.45 for the period of August 2021. And again, the OPM has reviewed all of these invoices and recommends approval of payment.
Do you have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Right? Any discussion? Any questions folks have about what this was for? Or any questions on the invoice? No? Okay, hearing no discussion. Chris, can we have a roll call vote, please, on approval of invoice number 00028 from Dorn Whittier in the
Yes.
amount of, sorry, $188,967.45.
Yes. Ben Lemus,
Yes.
thank you. Richard Sapphire,
Yes.
thank you. Kathy Clancy,
Yes.
thank you. Donna Compton,
Yes,
thank you. John Dunn,
Yes.
thank you. Gary Frisch,
Yes.
thank you. Matt Fusco,
Yes.
thank you. Grant Harris,
Yes.
thank you. Amy Pasquarello,
yes,
thank you. And Adam Roselle,
Yes.
thank you. Unanimous.
Unanimous.
Okay,
Great.
thank you. And so we have another Durham Whittier invoice, number 00029 in the amount of $183,960.03 for their services of September of 2021. And again, the OPM is recommending this invoice be approved.
Great. Any questions or clarifications for Mark or Dorn Whittier? Okay, do I have a motion for approval of invoice 00029 from Dorn Whittier?
So moved.
Second.
Great. So Chris, that was John Dunn moved and Gary Frisch seconded. Any discussion? Okay, I can't see you, so if there's discussion, just speak up, please. Doesn't seem like there is any. So Chris, could we have a roll call vote on approval of invoice 00029 from Dorn Whittier in the amount of $183,960.03?
Yes. Ben Lemus,
Yes.
thank you. Richard Sapphire,
Yes.
thank you. Kathy Clancy,
Yes.
thank you. Donna Compton,
yes,
thank you. John Dunn,
Yes.
thank you. Gary Frisch,
Yes.
thank you. Matt Fusco,
Yes.
thank you. Grant Harris,
Yes.
thank you. Amy Pasquarello,
yes,
thank you. And Adam Roselle,
Yes.
thank you.
Okay, so
And we might have.
Do we have more
Joe
joining?
Lucido join us? Joe, I don't know if you ever
I just
voted
jumped
on it.
on.
Oh, I'm
Apologies.
sorry. Yep. I'll make sure to, so
Let's do the next.
Yes.
Let's do the next one for him. Let's do the next one for him. Next one.
Okay.
okay, so
Right.
again, we have the WT Rich pre-construction invoice number 10 in the amount of $11,000, which is their contractual standard monthly pre-construction rate. This invoice is for the month of September 2021, and the OPM recommends this one be approved also.
Okay, great. Any discussion, any questions or clarifications for Mark or WT Rich? Okay, could I have a motion on approving this invoice?
So moved.
Second.
All right. Any discussion? All right, so can we have a roll call vote on invoice 202001-10 for the amount of $11,000 for WT Rich.
Yes. Ben Lummis,
Yes.
thank you. Richard Sapphire,
Yes.
thank you. Kathy Clancy,
yes,
thank you. Donna Compton,
Yes.
thank you. John Dunn,
Yes.
thank you. Gary Frisch,
Yes.
thank you. Matt Fusco,
Yes.
thank you. Grant Harris,
Yes.
Joe Lucido,
Yes.
thank you. Amy Pascarello,
Yes.
thank you. Adam Rosell,
Yes.
thank you.
Okay, and next we have WT Rich's construction requisition number 2 in the amount of $630,633. And that is for the period of September 21. And as the OPM, I just want to point out and inform folks that the contractor invoices as we move forward will be multiple millions of dollars each month, which we'd expect. And actually, we need them to expend and spend that amount of money in order to bring the job in on schedule. So the first couple will be in this vicinity, $1 million plus or minus. But very shortly, there'll be some significant invoices. And again, that's not surprising, that's expected. So that's my comment on the construction requisition number 2, which we recommend for payment.
Is it, thank you, Mark. Is it possible, and it may not be, I'm looking at the detail right now, to give us going forward, especially when we get into multi-millions of dollars, some sense of some of the bigger pieces, of it, just so people have, we'll look
Sure.
at the detail, of course, but in our discussion at least,
Yep.
especially if any members of the public are watching, just to give them a sense of, maybe that's just a couple of bullets or,
We can do that. And again, the key thing is that, just so folks understand, the actual pay requisition in its entirety is up to a couple of hundred pages of information. And then, as required by MSBA, there's a cover sheet that breaks it down into basically the divisions across the contract, their schedule, their summary schedule of values. So we can, because we have it, share that as a package. I don't imagine, you guys want to go through 100 or 200 pages. That's our job. We do that. And the architect actually certifies each and every one of these pay requisitions after evaluating the work, done in the field. And then Dennis in particular, the OPM field staff does the same, and they'll reconcile any comments or differences. And we only pass through to the city what we agree is the appropriate amount for that period. But we can give a summary.
Great. I think that's particularly helpful as we talk about the bigger, I mean, your explanation there of the sort of the review of them and then the certification of them. And I see, it's also, there's a, notary public who signs this as well, is I think helpful to just make sure we have the proper checks and balances on it. So great.
Yeah,
And
I just don't want anybody to be surprised when they see a multi-million dollar invoice, that we need them because we need to spend the money that fast to be done on time.
Great. That's very good clarification. Thank you, Mark. Other questions?
Yeah, John Dunn, it appears.
Oh,
Yeah, so I just want to make the comment that this particular invoice is most heavily weighted to demolition and abatement and site work. So that's probably 80% of what is in this particular invoice.
That's correct. This is primarily EP1.
Yep.
Actually, exclusively EP1 plus the associated general requirements and general conditions.
Great. Thank you, John.
Mark, I might,
Yep, go
Mark,
ahead.
I might add that if we could just add maybe the percentage of completion.
That's
You
a
know,
good
once
idea.
we get-
Yes.
Once we
Sure.
get the GMP, it will be, then everybody could say, oh,
Right.
well, we're 10% through the project and
Yeah.
And,
And again, after we get the GMP, because right now it's going to show like 80%, and that's kind of
Right.
misleading.
right.
Okay,
But that's
great.
a good idea.
I wish it was 80%.
Other questions or clarifications for Mark? Great. So, Chris, can we have a roll call? Wait, can we have a motion? Sorry.
Yeah, I make a motion that we pay the WT Rich invoice requisition number 002 in the amount of $630,633.
Second.
Second.
We'll give that second to Kathy Clancy.
Oh,
And any further discussion on the motion? Okay, so Chris, can we have a roll call vote on approval of requisition number 002 in the amount of $630,633 for WT Rich?
yes. Ben Lemus?
Oh, yes.
Thank you. Richard Sapphire? Richard, on mute. Richard, you're on mute. Oh, sorry.
Yes.
I'll come back. My apologies.
No, we're all set. Yes.
Kathy Clancy?
Yes.
Thank you. Donna Compton?
Yes.
Thank you. John Dunn? John?
Can't hear you, John.
I can't see you.
Can't see you either.
Oh, I don't know if, no, he's still. John Dunn?
He's got a square there, a rectangle there, but I don't. know if
Okay.
you're-
I'll come back at the end. Sorry. Gary Frisch?
Yes.
Thank you. Matt Fusco?
Yes.
Thank you. Grant Harris?
Yes.
Thank you. Joe Lucido?
Yes.
Thank you. Amy Pasquarello?
Yes.
Thank you. Adam Roselle?
Yes.
Thank you. And John Dunn?
Think we lost him.
But not present during the vote. Okay.
Mark, next invoice?
Yes, okay. I'm trying to stay muted as much as I can. I've got the young person that cuts my grass cutting. I don't know if you can hear it. Hopefully not. That's a lawnmower. Anyway, CBRE Hearies invoice for the period of September, PJIN 00264474 in the amount of $55,434.64. And again, that's pretty much based upon the level of effort, the hours that were actually spent on the project at the contract billing rates. So it's kind of that's what spits out after we do our time cards.
Great. Any questions or clarifications on the invoice from CBRE Hearing?
So moved.
Wait, hold on a second now. Got a motion on approving invoice with the god awful number of
Yeah, I have.
0026474 in the amount of $55,434.64 from CBRE Hearing. Have a motion?
So
Moved.
moved.
Second.
Sorry, Gary and who second?
Rich.
Rich
Thank you.
got that one. Great, I have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All right, can we have a roll call vote on approving invoice PJIN 00264474 in the amount of $55,434.64 from CBRE Hearing?
Yes, Ben Lemus.
Yes.
Thank you. Richard Sapphire.
Yes.
Thank you. Kathy Clancy.
Yes.
Okay, yep, thank you. Donna Compton.
Yes.
Thank you. John Dunn. I'll come back. Gary Frisch.
Yes.
Thank you. Matt Fusco.
Yes.
Thank you. Grant Harris.
Yes.
Thank you. Joe Lucido. Joe Lucido. He jump off. Okay, not present during the vote. Amy Pasquarello. Amy,
Yes.
thank you. Adam Roselle.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. I'll put John Dunn and Joe Lucido not present during vote.
We still have 9. Do we need 9 voting or nine just non-present?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Oh, hold on. And that's only 8 votes if Joe didn't vote. Right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. No, never mind. No, that's good.
9. Okay, so we have 11 members here now. We have a great. Thank you, Chris.
Yep, sorry.
Okay, rolling along here. Let's Mark, I'd like to skip to proprietary items just in case we lose folks from the
Okay.
quorum. Good numbers
Sure.
right now.
There
Okay.
are, there actually are. Let me put that up on the screen. So, and again, I believe these items have been discussed and addressed for the most part previously. And Michelle, then I'm going to ask you, since these are kind of design focused items, to sort of walk the folks through. I will try to scroll through so that folks can see, the item and the rationale. Does that work for you, Michelle?
It does, yes. So as Mark had said, most of this we had reviewed back when we did the 60%, and most of it had been approved. And we came to you and we said that we were going to try to take some of the items off the list, which we did manage to do. We spoke to the city and to Joe Lucido, and we managed to take some of the toilet accessory and toilet fixture proprietary items off the list. Everything else we had reviewed prior to this, with the exception of, if you scroll down, there's an acoustical wall panel that needs to be added to the gym. Not so fast. I can't read that fast.
Oh.
It's further. It's an
Yep.
acoustical panel, so it's up.
Is that the one?
Yes, thank you. The Tectum wall panels. So these are, you see them a lot of times. They kind of look like spaghetti, but these are the newer Tectum panels that have a coating over them. And we tend to use them in the gymnasiums at the ceilings and on the walls because they are very good at absorbing the sound and the noise. It is a proprietary item because it meets our LEED qualifications. If we weren't pursuing the high LEED issues, we would be able to find other products, but this one is the one that meets all those LEED credits for air quality and also for fire rating. So this is the only one that you had not previously seen before. And what we're asking you to do tonight is to actually approve the ones on this list by vote, if you still approve them, and then we can put them into our specifications. Are there any questions? I don't know if anybody had a chance to read the packet prior to that and had any questions about these items.
And again, I went through them, and they're, either limited, like there's only 2 vendors that manufacture it. So that's why it's proprietary, even though we hopefully will get competitive pricing. That applies to several of them. And others are in fact proprietary. The hardware one relates to the city and the school district wanting to have consistency, which is another really good reason to have proprietary items. And then like school guard glass, that's a relatively new product, no, not that new, but relatively new product. And again, they're the only folks that make it. And we really want it.
West Parish was actually, I think, one of the first schools in Massachusetts to use school guard glazing.
I had a chance to review them all. They all made sense to me.
Okay. Any other questions for Mark or the team? Okay. So could we have Is there a motion to approve the proprietary items dated 10/14/21 that are in our packet here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Believe there's 7,
No, there's 11.
11.
Oh, yeah, 11 items
Oh.
that are on the proprietary item list for October 14, 2021.
All right.
Motion.
So moved. So moved.
Is there a second?
Seconded.
Second by Amy. Thank you. Any further discussion? Okay. Chris, could we have a roll call vote on approval of the proprietary items from October 14, 2021?
Yes. Ben Lummis,
Yes.
you, Richard Sapphire,
Yes.
thank you, Kathy Clancy,
Yes.
thank you, Donna Compton,
Yes.
thank you, John Dunn. I'll skip. Gary Frisch,
Yes.
thank you, Matt Fusco,
Yes.
thank you, Grant Harris,
Yes.
thank you, Joe Lucido,
Yes.
thank you, Amy Pasquarello,
Yes.
thank you, and Adam Roselle.
Yes.
Thank you.
Excellent.
Can we
Okay.
also ask that, Ben, since you're chairing tonight, that you
Yep.
actually sign off on each of those and then send the copies over?
Oh, okay. John didn't tell me I was going to be doing that. Yes, I can do that. Happy to.
Thank you,
Um,
thank you.
all right. Great. So how about if we go to the monthly update?
Okay, so
Right.
the way we'll do that is I will provide a relatively brief OPM update. Then Michelle can provide a design update. And I believe Brian Parody is on the call. He can provide the work update. So again, first, there's a gentleman by the name of Yash Palmer that's on the call, a CBRE employee who's going to join the team, and he's effectively going to be replacing the role that Chris Tremblay has so well played. For these stages of the project, Chris is fully needed elsewhere. So, anyways, Yash will be joining. He's listening in today to sort of get the hang of it, get his feet wet, and you'll be seeing more of him as we move forward. So,
Welcome.
Welcome.
Hello, nice to see you all. Thank you.
And whatever, Chris. Yeah, just leave us. It's okay. No big deal.
I swear it's not my choice.
no, it wasn't my choice either.
And Yash, we're very glad to have you, by the way. Okay.
Thank you.
Yash comes highly recommended.
Good.
So anyways, with regard to the project, the St. Anne's move in and transition went generally well. And there are a couple of items. There's a HVAC ventilation item that's being looked at. There's a updated proposal that we're expecting, hopefully tomorrow, on getting some ventilation and fresh air into that space. In addition, it was brought to our attention that there are some, once the boiler fired, there are some steam lines that needed to be insulated. So WT Rich is in the process of taking care of those. Now, with respect to the project, I'm going to let Brian give more or less the work activity update. So from the OPM standpoint, Dennis has been having conversations somewhat regularly with the abutters and some of the neighbors. As we talked, there were a couple of early startup issues with some trucks backing up, backup alarms, and a little bit of traffic and all of that. Those seem to have pared down. We're not aware of any neighborhood, comments or concerns that have been raised recently. And that job's going well. EP1 package, as you heard in a minute, is well underway, almost done. EP2 is fired up. and we're getting ready to go out for bid on the remaining part of the work. Which,
Mark,
yes.
just a question about, I think I'm addressed to you, but, probably work with Brian's team or maybe with Dennis, but it'd be helpful to get sort of whatever you guys do, is if it's a month look ahead, a 2-week look ahead, a 2-month look ahead, some sort of look ahead that we can post on our building website, but also share with the school committee and probably city council too. When we were talking about that last night, we were talking about this at the school committee last night, and that sort of thing would be helpful for the.
Okay, actually, that's an easy request, since I'm at each of our weekly construction meetings. The CM, WT Rich, Brian in this case, has been sharing a multi-week, I don't know if it's 3 or 4, sometimes they're different, but a several week look ahead schedule of the of each of the activities. So we can just make that available to you to provide it to the folks.
Great, and then if we could have like the actual, I mean, that's something we can interpret, great, but if we could also have one that sort of, because I can sort of share that thing with other folks, but if we could have some bullets of that,
Well,
so
it's
like,
pretty.
is it, yeah,
We'll let you look at it. I mean, it's pretty self-explanatory. There's a list of activities in an Excel spreadsheet style on the left, and then there's blocks that show the weeks of when those activities will be ongoing. I mean, I think it should be sufficient, but if you see it and you want something a little bit different, I'm sure we can work that out.
Yeah, no, because we'll take a look at it. That's obviously easy to share with the building committee or with the school committee, that sort of thing. We want to put something on the website that isn't as technical, just in terms of like, spreadsheets are good for us. It's harder for just, general public to decipher for some folks. But let's take a look. If we can pull the right things out of it, great.
Yep.
If we can help with it, we'll check in with you.
Okay.
Kathy, does that sound about right?
Yes, it does.
Yeah, I'll just say something I typically do in the past. I do a monthly report for the owner, or I'm sorry, for that'll go to CBRE and the team. And it's lengthy, and what I've done in the past is kind of trim that down to the look ahead that he's talking about, and then I kind of just do the past work of that month in a bullet form, and then the upcoming work just kind of summarize in bullet form, and then I attach a look ahead, and attach some selected photos just to kind of give you, because a lot of times photos kind of tell 1,000 words with what's going on. So I won't commit to, so I have others on my team that'll probably be taking over those responsibilities, so I won't commit too much, but we'll see if we can put something together like that. That'll help.
And Brian, do you think that sort of thing is okay to post publicly, or is that more just internal?
Well, if you tell me you're going to post it public, I'll keep an eye on it. I don't think it's an issue. Again, it's information people can, obviously make sure we don't post any safety violations or anything like that. But I'll screen that, make it a package that's presentable that you can share, and obviously it'll be totally different from what I provide directly to, not totally different, but definitely tamed down and simplified from what I provide to CBRE and the rest of the team.
Yeah, just the highlights so people can kind of just understand.
Yeah, just a few like general photos, maybe, without people, everybody making sure that it's like, nice, safe photo, obviously. Not that but no, just making sure that you kind of, I think photos a lot of times is what people like to see. But obviously, keep it simple, keep it broad, and then a few bullet points. That shouldn't be a huge issue. So we'll be doing it in our most of that we do anyway in our monthly report. So it's just about like snapping a couple of lines from that and copying and pasting it and just making a short form. I call it short form summary.
An executive summary of your monthly report.
Yeah.
And at some point, we'll want the feed from your camera as well, or we'll need to talk how we, when it's appropriate to kind of do the time lapse.
Yeah, one thing we talked about was we didn't want to make the link necessarily public. We didn't want to open up too much, like, so everybody has access to everything,
right?
So we do want to make sure, one, I can play it for this group, and then I don't know, maybe I can make a monthly set of photos or part of that time lapse, obviously reviewed and controlled. So I'll get working on that, see if I can. I just obviously don't want to give anybody fuel to criticize or you know, ask too many, I don't know, open up a can of worms, you know what I mean? So, but I mean, you know, again, people can pass by anytime, and I just, you know, sharing the link is just one of those things that we like to closely monitor.
Yeah, so maybe it's a clip, right? It's a clip now.
Yeah, and it does make clips. I just got to get a little bit better about you know, paring down those clips,
Okay.
Producing those.
So again, so Michelle, would you like to give an update on where you guys stand with basically being about done with the design?
Yeah, sure. It's nice to be reaching this point right now and seeing the light at the end of the tunnel. So we're wrapping up our 100% or not 100%, our bid documents, and we'll be issuing those in quite soon. We've had a third-party code review done and have received some great feedback, as well as the note that they thought our drawings were very tight and very well done. So that was nice to hear, especially you know, with all the work that our team has done in coordination with everybody else. We have had some interior updates. We had a meeting just recently because of some value engineering with floor surfaces. We've gone and taken a second look at the floor pattern. Unfortunately, I don't have those drawings to show you tonight, but we will be showing them in the near future. So the wave that was on the floor is now become a little bit more pixelated because we went from a sheet good to a tile. So it's harder to do a tile where you're cutting every single tile in the shape of a wave. So the interiors group and our interior designers have had some back and forth, and we think we've come to what we think is a great resolution. In fact, I almost feel like it's been an improvement. So it's really nice to see that work going forward. The one thing I wanted to review with you tonight was that we did, at one of our working groups, we did hear that the monument should stay where it is. So I wanted to show you some revision that we're working on right now and just make sure that everybody understands where we are with that. If I could share my screen. Oops, post disabled. I have to have permission, I guess, to share.
I give you permission, Michelle.
You don't have that kind of power anymore.
I don't know if anybody else is giving it to me. Maria, are you the host? All right. It's still saying host disabled.
You're a co-host, so you can promote as well.
Who's the co-host?
Oh,
You're all set, Michelle.
still
Oh,
set.
thank you. Let's try again. There we go. All right. Can you see my screen over here with the monument on the left?
Not yet. Nope.
Okay. Guess it takes a minute. How
Here
about
it
now?
comes.
Now we can see it.
Oh, great. All right, so this is your existing condition with your monument, and there's a flagpole here. And you can see how the sidewalk comes in, and then you have the handicap access to the crosswalk, the guardrail, and the light pole. What we want to do is try to maintain this entire area around the monument and the flagpole as is, and leave the monument where it is. And so in our redesign of this area, you'll see that the cars, we've changed the direction of those cars so they're parallel parking along the street, and then the sidewalk will be behind that area. So here you would see about 10 feet down before you see the first car, and then your sidewalk would follow and end up in front about where that car wheel is there. We have to do a little bit of regrading here. So you'll see us regrading just a little bit. And that is to make sure that the slope of the sidewalk maintains accessibility. So the handicap access along the sidewalk has to meet a certain slope. So we'll be changing some of that all along up into our property edge. And in order to do that, we have to do a little bit of regrading just around the monument. But our intention here is to leave the monument and the flagpole exactly as they are without changing any of that grading. So one thing is that right now the flagpole is not handicap accessible. And because we're leaving everything as it is, we won't be changing that. We'll be leaving the grading as it is. The monument will stay as it is. And in the future, if somebody wants to come back and try to revise that grading, they could regrade around the flagpole or actually move the flagpole, which would be probably an easier thing to do, which would be to move it to an area which is accessible adjacent to the sidewalk. So that's our new plan for the area around the monument. Are there any questions? None? Okay. Then we will go ahead and
Michelle, sorry,
Oh,
can you just, like, I don't know if you had, I had to, John Dunn had to call me because he's having, the problem he's having is just a bad connection. So he called me to let me know that he had to basically get off because it wasn't working. So I just missed the location of that in the larger site. So could you just show that to me again? I'm sorry about that.
oh, that's okay. See if I can share again. So the monument is staying where it is,
Got it. Okay.
and the flagpole right behind it is staying right where it is.
Okay. All right. And then this is the hill going downwards, right?
And this is the hill. So the work that we're doing on the hill is regrading all along this area,
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
and that's to meet that slope by the bus turnaround in the front. And we'll be doing some minimal grading around the monument area so that the sidewalk actually meets the required ADA slope for sidewalk.
And to the right is that's the existing parking lot, right? Or parking, whatever, not lot, but
No, so right now the cars park perpendicular to the street,
yeah. No, but I'm just saying in terms of where, okay, I got it. Yep.
and we're changing them to parallel. So that's starting right about here. And then the sidewalk will go in front of those cars and go down along this area.
Yep. Okay, great. Thank you.
So if everybody agrees, that's the plan we'll be putting forward with our documents.
Do we need a motion on that?
No, just an agreement that we
Okay.
think that the monument should stay where it is because that had been left. There had been originally talk about relocating it. So just the fact that we're leaving it where it is and leaving the inaccessible or existing non-compliant flagpole where it is.
When you say non-compliant, that just means it's not somebody handicap accessible can't go up to the pole.
Yeah, it wasn't made handicap accessible when it was installed. So that could be done as future work, but it won't be part of this project.
But the monument then becomes more accessible than it is, or?
Because we're changing the grading so that it is accessible, the grading on the sidewalk is accessible, this guardrail in
Yep.
front can be removed. But the monument itself, we're very limited grading around that as well. So it is as accessible as it is today. And when I say accessible, I'm talking about ADA accessibility,
Yes.
Not-
Okay.
not.
There's a level of
accessible.
respect by leaving it where it is that we're maintaining, right?
And
I think that's the understanding is that most people wanted it to stay.
okay. And just what was it? A group you spoke with, or
The direction came from Jonathan Pope last week.
okay?
Whose responsibility is the flagpole moving forward for raising and lowering the flag? And then I'm just curious.
Clearly
Who does
yours.
it now?
I
Do
don't
you do
know.
it?
It was never part of our daily work at Veterans. I was just curious as who.
I don't know who
did it.
does it now. I'm not sure.
Did you have a different flagpole at the school?
Yes, we have one out. We had one out in front.
Is this
That
going
the
to be
custodian was responsible for, but I just was curious as to who.
That should have fallen on the Park and Recs.
Is
Yeah.
this going to be the flag for the school, or this is going to be a flag for the monument?
Correct. We still have a flagpole for the school. And we will keep the flag. Originally, if we were relocating the stone, we would have just used the school's flag. We wouldn't have added a second flagpole.
Any, no, I wouldn't expect any change, Matt, in terms of how it's managed. So any discussion? Or further discussion? Questions? Okay, so I think that's a decision. We'll keep moving with that.
Great, thank you. That's all I have for tonight.
Okay, so, so Brian, if you'd like to give an update on pretty much the completion very, very soon of EP1, startup of EP2.
So yeah, no, we're in really good shape with early package 1. Demolition is complete. Just wrapping up the permit requirements. Spoke to Bill Sanborn today to see if we can. I uploaded all the documents for the the abatement reports and all that. So I'll just getting a final walkthrough on that and closing that out, and then it's on to the early package 2. They're just wrapping up the temporary drainage and swales on the perimeter and finishing off stabilizing the site, and that'll be done. That'll be the last little bit of EP1 before WL French, the EP2 site contractor, mobilizes next Monday on the 18th, and they're really going to start working in the building footprint, excavating to subgrade, and then over excavating and replacing any unsuitable soils that go below the foundations, and then creating the working platform for the ground improvements. That's going to start mid next month. So that's all as per schedule and in good shape. Groundbreaking ceremonies next Thursday, the 21st. So we'll get the site prepared for that. Foundation permit has been submitted, and I'm talking to Bill. That's in good shape, and we'll be on schedule to have that in place before we start the ground improvements, which would be kind of the first foundation item. And then we're just working on trade and non-trade contractor outreach for the 100% for the bid set that's coming out. So just making sure we have good coverage and good pricing all around from all the contractors. So that's pretty much it from our end. And I typically would provide some good photos for everybody. Again, not providing the live link for the Oxblue, apologize, more kind of like a security thing, but once we get going, have some stuff to really look at. Right now it's just kind of dirt, so otherwise I'd like to show you some photos during this and have you look at something interesting, but it's really just moving around dirt at this point, so not much for you guys to really look at, but feel free to come by the site and take a look at how it looks out there.
I was over there this afternoon, Brian, and you gave an accurate report. It's a lot of dirt. So there's some piles of gravel, and there's some heavy machinery. So it's a little more exciting than you're playing it down a little bit. But
2 weeks from now, it'll be smoother dirt. We'll put it that way, So yeah, I know maybe I can get you some good photos when the ground improvements start to go in. That's a cool operation you don't see every day. So. Some cool, interesting stuff coming up.
Great. Very exciting. Any questions from folks for Brian about where we are and where we're headed? Okay, Mark, groundbreaking is the next
Sure.
item?
So the last item on the agenda is the groundbreaking. And as Brian mentioned, it's going to start at 10 a.m. next Thursday, the
Nope,
21st.
nope, nope,
10?
nope, nope, 9:30, 9:30,
Oh, 9:30. Oh, I missed the update. Okay, it'll
9:30.
start at 9. Brian Vermont gets closer to the details than I am. I'm trying my best to cover. But and as I understand it, there's I don't know if it's a preference or an actual choice to have the groundbreaking take place on the north portion of the site, closer to Route 128.
Yeah, so it's a decision to have it in the north.
Okay,
I'm not sure what corner that is. Maybe it's northeast corner, closer to 128. We were looking at two different locations that have it. One was up in the parking area that's on the road, basically looking over the site. But we prefer to have the folks actually on the site, which is great. We're going to have a few speakers. We're going to have the third grade students from East Gloucester and veterans, Amy and Matt are the masters of ceremony. We'll have some heavy machinery there for kids to take photos in front of. Kids will have a couple of banners thanking the city of Gloucester and also thanking the MSBA. They'll exchange some letters to each other because they'll have pen pals
oh,
for the
cool.
intervening between now and the time they come together in the new school. And there'll also be some at least there'll be a song as well from the kids too. So a really big thank you to Amy for helping us organize this, and Kathy, also Stephanie DeLisi, and Jonathan as well. And then obviously the team here, the project team is helping out obviously in a major way too. So everything from ordering the right shovels to getting the right size pile of dirt for the groundbreaking to organizing chairs and other equipment. And so just really appreciate everyone's help on this. The team is organizing it. Kathy, Amy, anything to add?
No,
Just-
so far the forecast is good, so we're keeping
Yeah,
our
but
fingers crossed. for that.
this is New England. When Brian sent that out, I
I know,
chuckled a
don't-
little bit saying,
Oh, he
I don't
changed it
know.
The weather.
Okay, we're not talking about it anymore. We're not talking about it anymore. Okay, we're talking about. All right, but it's coming together nicely. All the building committee members are all invited, of course. Please get there. Please join us there. We're going to start at 9:30. The kids will arrive a little bit before that. You've earned a shovel, so if you're there, you'll get a shovel. And it's not gold plated, but it's chrome plated. Anyway, so we really hope you'll be there. It's obviously one of the big milestones and big moments in this whole project, and you folks have been with us for so long, so hope we can make it there. All right.
And that's it as far as the consultant team and the agenda are concerned.
Okay, great. Any new business from folks? Or topics that we need to discuss next time?
Oh, next meeting. I have a question on the next meeting. Right now, if we follow the plan, I believe the next meeting would be November 11th, a Thursday, which I believe is Veterans Day.
Yep, probably shouldn't do that.
Right. So it's a matter of, I don't know if you've had a conflict in the past, if you've moved it the day before or the week before. Moving it the week after is not my preference, because then the invoicing, gets pushed out, and the consultants and the CM will have a little more difficulty with their subcontractors. So I would suggest that we consider the Wednesday, but I don't know what people's commitments and schedules are.
Can't
We
do
only-
Wednesday because there's a school committee meeting.
Okay,
Could potentially do the week before, I suppose, if can't do the week.
yeah, that would be, I think, the 4th. If it's the week before, I think it would be the 4th.
Will invoices be ready by the 4th?
Well, what we did before is we had a conversation, and there was an acceptance to do it on like a not to exceed amount. So I know when we spoke about that, we were talking primarily about the construction invoices. But since the 4th is pretty early in the month, we may consider that for the consultant invoices, although, I don't know, we should be able to have an actual invoice the first, the second day of the month. I don't know, Michelle, would that be problematic for you guys with your sub-consultants? And would you prefer the not to exceed approach?
Sorry. I think we can make the 4th. You might
Okay.
get it on the 2nd. But you need it for the package on that Friday before though, right?
No, the only thing that needs to be, we need the posting the 48 hours before. But the package, we try to get stuff in the package as quickly as we can, along with the posting, but there have been items that have gone in there, say Wednesday morning for a Thursday meeting. Not
Right.
ideal, but that has happened.
So we'll be closing our billing on the 29th. So I can get you by the 2nd.
Okay.
I think
So then
that
it
should be
just
fine.
falls to the not to exceed approach that we've already discussed and more or less agreed upon with regard to the CM's monthly requisition.
Okay, so of the folks here, we're shooting for the Thursday, the 4th. We want to make sure we,
Ben, are you attending the MASS conference?
I wasn't sure about that yet.
Just wanted to put that out there.
Thank you. And that's
But
what,
I think the time of day is fine, no matter what.
yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
So we will need to have a quorum, obviously, and we have a quorum here. So can everyone who's here do 5 o'clock on Thursday, the 4th? Or if you can't, speak up, please.
I will not be able to make it on the 4th.
Okay. But Jonathan presumably will. So we'll trade you guys out. I think we should have, and John, don't make sure know about it. Mark, if you and Brian can make sure you communicate with the building committee members pronto, with that new date, then I think we should be okay.
We can send out, an email meeting update.
Yeah.
And then Maria will send out the actual invitation when it's appropriate, but we can send out a, save the date kind of a.
Yeah, if you just put something, so in the subject line, it's like,
Right.
meeting date change, so people can really see it, that'd be great.
We'll get that out tomorrow.
Great. All right, I think that's good. Good catch. All right, I think I want to host Jeopardy next, but I think I'm gonna step.
There you go.
This has gone so very well with all you. No, anything else, folks? Okay, can I have a
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
I think Amy got that one, but it's close.
Sorry, Rich.
Rich being very magnanimous. We appreciate that, Rich. All right, so Chris, can we have a motion, a roll call on the motion to adjourn, please?
Yes. Ben Lummis,
Yes.
thank you. Richard Sapphire,
Yes.
thank you. Kathy Clancy,
Yes.
thank you. Jonna Compton,
Yes.
thank you. John Dunn, not present. Gary Frisch,
Yes.
thank you. Matt Fusco,
Yes.
thank you. Grant Harris,
Yes.
thank you. Joe Lucido,
Yes.
thank you. Amy Pasquarello,
Yes.
thank you. And Adam Roselle.
Oh,
He's
He
at
wasn't kidding.
parent teachers conference.
Okay, not present. All set. Thank you.
thank you, folks. Have a good evening.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you all very
Stay in
much.
touch, Chris.
Bye.
Yep, will do.
All right, thank you.
Good luck, Chris.
Thanks, Chris.